Bukarest var. Det är bra där. 14 alla hjärtans dag. Tjejer, kan vi inte åka till Bukarest? Jag kollar i datorn. Jag är gammal, jag lär mig tjejer. Nej. What are you doing in Sweden? I am refugee from
Nice to see you all here. First of all, I would like to thank on behalf of our project partnership that all of you were able to make it here today for your interest in our project because it's daytime and it's some of you came from work. So thank you so much. We really appreciate this. The people that I see today are very diverse here. It's our project partners from Romania and Spain and Germany, but also people from different organizations. Some of you are experts in disinformation. Others maybe work with young people. So for that reason, we decided in this conference not to focus on teaching you anything about disinformation, but rather demonstrate the developments of our project to you, which is about educating young people about disinformation. And we also have live stream participants today from different countries and also a little bit from Sweden. So that's why we have the cameras there. So everything is being recorded. Olivia, would you like to say something?
Yes, I'll take it in English and then in Swedish. We have the cameras, and if you would not like to have your face or be shown on camera, there are 2 tables in the back there that the camera does not include in the picture. And you all have been given in your places a GDPR consent form that we would like you to fill out. You don't have to fill in the photographer's name because we can do that later. But everything else would be great. Så vi kommer att livestreama, och om det är så att man inte vill ha sitt ansikte med på bild på den här livestreamingen, så finns det 2 bord här längst bak i lokalen som man kan sitta vid. Och ni har alla fått en samtyckesblankett som ni gärna får fylla i. Ni behöver inte fylla i fotografens namn, det kommer vi ordna senare. Vill du ta över eller vill du att jag fortsätter?
I was thinking to present ourselves later because we will be making presentations today. But as I was speaking, although we focus on educating young people about disinformation, disinformation still is the cornerstone of our conference today. And this is why we invited our first guest to speak about the importance of having media literacy skills.
Så vår första talare kommer tala på svenska. Vi har en presentation på svenska och det är Martina Wagner. Välkommen upp.
Tackar. Då ska vi se. Det är alltid intressant när man ska tala om medie- och informationskunnighet och så kanske man misslyckas med tekniken. Men det gjorde jag inte. Nu ska vi se. Där ja. Så. Ja, jättekul. Jag heter Martina Wagner och jag kommer från Mediemyndigheten. Den alldeles nyinstiftade myndigheten i Sverige som har funnits sedan 1 januari 2024. Den är en sammanslagning av Statens medieråd och Myndigheten för press, radio och tv. Jag har jobbat på Statens medieråd och de senaste 5 åren har jag lett det svenska arbetet för ökad medie- och informationskunnighet som har bedrivits utifrån särskilda regeringsuppdrag. Och jag känner mig jättehedrad att vara inbjuden här. Jag är här med min kollega Johanna Tiblin som var med på lunchen och träffade många av er. Och det här projektet Display, det har vi hört talas om inom Statens medieråd flera gånger från Denis i det formaliserade samverkan som vi har inom ramen för folkbildningsarenan för MIK. Det är en samverkansplattform som vi har för aktörer inom folkbildningen att möta övriga samhällsaktörer inom området med informationskunnighet. Och att stärka unga i sin medievardag, att bli medvetna och förmå hantera och förstå sin tids medier och information. Det är inte bara viktigt, det är livsviktigt. Men det handlar inte om bara unga såklart, utan om alla människor i hela samhället. Och utvecklingen som det är nu med informationspåverkan gör ju de här frågorna högaktuella. Och frågan om AI som nu har tagit grepp om det här området och skapar mer eller mindre oro gör också att vi måste vara där snabbt och ta diskussionen. Det handlar om delvis nya kunskaper och förmågor som vi alla oavsett ålder behöver i relation till medieutvecklingen. Och innan jag lägger på nästa bild, för en myndighet som oss, för Mediemyndigheten, så är sådana här möten och träffar, oavsett små eller stora, oerhört viktiga. För att vi ska förstärka det arbetet som sker i Sverige för ökad med- och informationskunnighet. Och inom det här området så kan vi bara bli framgångsrika om vi samverkar brett med alla de delar som är relevanta för frågorna. Så jag är jätteglad att få vara här. Nu ska vi hoppa in. Jag nämnde Statens medieråds MIK-arbete och här tänkte jag bara visa vilken typ av arbete vi har bedrivit de senaste 5 åren utifrån de här regeringsuppdragen som vi har haft. Vi har framförallt arbetat i 3 ben som har handlat om samverkan och om kartläggning och om att skapa en plattform för kunskap. Inom ramen för våra regeringsuppdrag så har vi etablerat en struktur för bred tvärsektoriell samverkan för ökad med- och informationskunnighet mellan många olika aktörer. Vi har etablerat en form för att återkommande följa och kartlägga området med- och informationskunnighet som ska ge den överblick utifrån vilken våran samverkan ska utgå. Och vi har också bidragit till att lansera en digital plattform för kunskapsdelning, kunskapsökning, resurs- och materialdelning. Och det är vår kunskapsbank för MIK. Men jag tänkte också berätta lite om Mediemyndigheten. Vad är den? Vad gör den i relation till Statens medieråds MIK-arbete? Ja, Mediemyndigheten, som jag sa, är ju en sammanslagning av Myndigheten för press, radio och tv och Statens medieråd. Och vi ska alltså inom vårt verksamhetsområde verka för yttrandefrihet, med- och informationskunnighet och möjligheterna till mediemångfald och tillgänglighet. Och av relevans för MIK så ska vi också samordna det nationella arbetet och kartlägga och redovisa vilka åtgärder som vidtagits i Sverige för att främja med- och informationskunnighet. Genom den här myndigheten och den här instruktionen så har den aktiva medieanvändaren tagit steget in i mediepolitiken. För att yttrandefrihet och demokrati ska ligga i linje med arbetet inom medieområdet som handlar om reglering, som handlar om mediestöd, så behövs även kompetensfrågan finnas med. Nu när medierna inte längre är massmedier på det viset att det pågår en interaktivitet. Vi har en aktiv medieanvändare och då är kompetensfrågorna av yttersta vikt. Och här har vi Mediemyndigheten i den här nya kostymen då. Ja, varför MIK? Digitaliseringen har ju inneburit ett paradigmskifte för medier och medieanvändare. Det har skett en demokratisering av tillgången till information, men också en möjlighet för var och en, för vem som helst, att sprida vilka budskap som helst globalt. Och det är ju inom den här utvecklingen som det finns både såklart möjligheter men också utmaningar. Det finns risker och det finns möjligheter. Det är förutsättningar som både utmanar och stärker demokratin. det digitala medielandskapet har ju förändrat hur vi kommunicerar, hur vi konsumerar information och nyheter, och det formar våra uppfattningar om världen. Och mycket handlar ju om, som vi diskuterar, om skärningspunkten mellan människor och medier. Och att balansera då möjligheter och risker, det är en viktig fråga egentligen för alla samhällsområden, men särskilt så är det en utgångspunkt just för medie- och informationskunnighet. Att maximera möjligheterna och minimera riskerna, det är utgångspunkten för medie- och informationskunnighet. Och en stark demokrati bygger på att människor är välinformerade, engagerade och kompetenta och kan fatta välgrundade beslut. Och det är också därför förra regeringen skrev fram detta i demokratistrategin från 2018. Strategi för en stark demokrati, främja, förankra, försvara. Och då menar man att medie- och informationskunnighet är en allt viktigare förutsättning för människors delaktighet. Så att vi behöver verkligen fortsätta främja, förankra och försvara demokratin, och MIK är en del i detta. Ja, men vad handlar då medie- och informationskunnighet, MIK, om? Ja, övergripande då att förstå mediernas roll i samhället, att kunna finna, analysera, kritiskt värdera information och att själv kunna uttrycka sig i olika medier och sammanhang. Och det här är ju en grund för vår förmåga att ta del av information och göra vår röst hörd. Det berör människor, som sagt, i alla åldrar. Och det är också någonting vi behöver lära och träna och uppdatera genom hela livet. Det är ett livslångt lärande. Här på bilden Unescos MIK-ekologi. För att begreppet medie- och informationskunnighet lanserades av Unesco 2011. De kopplade till de mänskliga rättigheterna. Så demokrati är en utgångspunkt för begreppet. Det omfattar flera olika kunskaper och förmågor och förhållningssätt som är viktiga för att vi ska kunna hantera och förstå vår tids medier och information. Det handlar både om hårda kunskaper och om mjukare förmågor och förhållningssätt, attityder. Men i den här ekologin, nu är det väldigt smått för er att se här, men de här 23 bollarna, här finner vi olika kunskaper och förmågor som ingår i det här begreppet. Till exempel då filmkunnighet, AI-kunnighet, reklamkunnighet. Och det här baseras ju på olika behov som uppstår i relation till teknik och medieutvecklingen. Och alla de här kunnigheterna hänger ihop och ingår i den helhet vi kallar medie- och informationskunnighet. Och varför är då medie- och informationskunnighet viktigt? Ja, vi har ju precis gått in i ett år, 2024. Det är inte vilket år som helst, jag tror ingen här inne har missat det. Detta supervalår. Och den här gången gör epitetet verkligen skäl för sitt namn. För att inte mindre än 76 länder håller val. Det är i alla fall inplanerat val, får man väl säga, i 76 länder. Och totalt handlar det om 4 miljarder människor som ska rösta. Hälften av jordens befolkning. Det är en ganska stor händelse. Aldrig tidigare har så många människor haft möjlighet att rösta under samma år. Och det här skulle ju kunna tolkas som en framgång för demokratin. En frammarsch för att vi har det så här. Men verkligheten går ju tyvärr i motsatt riktning. Forskningsprogrammet VEDEM och organisationen Freedom House som mäter utvecklingen av demokratin i världen. Enligt dem så fortsätter den att backa, och det har den gjort de senaste 10 åren. Och det finns enligt forskarna flera förklaringar till att det är den här utvecklingen. Men några av förklaringarna har att göra med medielandskapets förändringar. Just kopplat till digitaliseringen och framväxten av sociala medier. Och en annan rapport som ni nog inte heller har missat, som kom för 2 veckor sedan. Världsekonomiskt forums senaste globala riskrapport. Enligt den så är AI-genererad desinformation det största hotet mot utvecklingen i världen de kommande 2 åren. Det handlar om fabricerad information som har tagits fram med hjälp av AI, fejkade bilder, röster, budskap, opinioner som då kan skapa och provocera fram konflikter i ett kort perspektiv. Så det är ett hot. Så spridandet av felaktig information, det är någonting som vi alla behöver förhålla oss till i vår medievardag och i vårt samhälle. Och oavsett om det handlar om vår förmåga att avkoda äktheten i nyhetsartiklar, att förstå algoritmernas inverkan på våra medieflöden, eller om det handlar om att skydda våra digitala identiteter, så kan våra egna kunskaper och förmågor inte överdrivas i det samtalet. Även om vi har lagstiftning som till viss del kan hjälpa, stärka, så är det ändå vi som medieanvändare som kan göra våra egna förmågor rustar oss väldigt mycket för att klara av och hantera den här utvecklingen. Det ger oss verktyg att förstå samhällsfrågor och fatta välgrundade beslut. En uppgraderad läs- och skrivkunnighet för det 21:a århundradet brukar vi omnämna medie- och informationskunnighet som. Och det rustar ju inte bara individen utan även samhället i stort. Men var får vi den här påfyllnaden av medie- och informationskunnighet? Vad kan en människa i Sverige möta sådana här MIK-främjande insatser förutom den formella utbildningen och i skolan? I den här bilden så framgår en rad kontaktytor för aktiviteter och kontaktytor mot invånare där medie- och informationskunnighet som i form av löpande arbete eller insatser kan förekomma. Vissa ligger i olika delar av livet, andra pågår genom hela livet, och insatser förekommer som förstärker oss i våra olika roller. Som förälder via BVC till exempel, där det kan förekomma insatser i samtal till nyblivna föräldrar om skärmanvändning, som till vår roll som elev i skolan, som aktiv i civilsamhällesorganisation, som student på universitet eller vid folkhögskola, som nyanländ via kurser via vuxenutbildning och så vidare. Men för att förstå behovet av MIK genom en människas livsresa så ska man ju också betänka medieanvändningen. För det är ju utifrån den som behovet uppstår. Och medieanvändningen skiftar väldigt beroende på hur gammal du är. Och vi vet att det börjar tidigt i Sverige, redan innan 2 års ålder. Och det pikar någon gång 15 till 24. Sen ligger det ganska på samma nivå, bara för att öka igen sen när vi blir äldre, efter 65. Vad vi gör när vi är aktiva skiftar stort, och vilka medieaktiviteter vi företar oss, vilka källor vi använder, allting skiftar i relation till hur mycket du exponerar dig, vem du är i livslinjen. Det ser vi i undersökningar. I yngre åldersgrupper är sociala medier, till exempel då TikTok, främsta källan till nyheter. Och det kan ju vara ett faktum att ta med sig under dagen. Och det har ni säkert haft med i era arbeten tidigare. TikToks design och algoritmer är ju extra lämpade för just desinformation, har lyfts i flera forskningsrapporter. Men det är uppenbart att behovet av MIK skiftar genom livet och att vi behöver adressera frågorna beroende på vem vi talar med. Förutom att vi behöver genom hela livet förstärka de här kompetenserna. Och slutligen då, Mediemyndighetens uppgift är ju då att förstärka det arbete som sker. Och ni befinner ju er inom folkbildningen. Och det är en hörnsten, det är en central del i att nå ut till befolkningen utanför den formella utbildningen. Och därför, alla ni som sitter här är ju en viktig del i det här samverkansarbetet som vi ska koordinera. Och det är ett långt arbete, långsiktigt måste vi tänka. Det kan bara bli framgångsrikt om vi fortsätter samverka över nivåer och sektorer och politikgränser. Men det är livsviktigt att vi når alla människor i hela landet i olika åldrar och målgrupper. Och därför önskar jag er en fortsatt bra konferensdag där ni då ska dyka ner i det som jag läste om, metoder särskilt för att nå unga, och jag vet ju att det är väldigt roligt att se den här LajvVerkstaden, och min kollega Johanna berättade och visade lite om det här spelet som ni har tagit fram. Det behövs alla sätt. Vi behöver jobba brett och nå ut på olika sätt, olika grupper av människor för att skapa den medie- och informationskunniga befolkning som digitaliserade medielandskapet kräver. För då kan vi bidra i den här positiva utvecklingen som den här tekniken, framförallt den här AI som har nu inordnats som ett verktyg i stort sett överallt, men framförallt inom medieområdet. Att det verkligen kan utveckla journalistiken och möjligheten för att tillgängliggöra kvalitativ journalistik och sprida en delaktighet och sammanhållning för alla människor genom ökad tillgänglighet till information. Tack för mig.
Thank you so much, Martina. It was very interesting to hear about the importance of media literacy today, and to see how strategically the work in Sweden goes in this direction. And like you said, it feels very important that we are beginning to put ourselves in this big picture of what you're doing with our projects like this. So like you said, this is exactly our goal today, to show you what we've done, and to maybe for you to help us spread these things that we've done, if you think that that they can contribute to solving the problem. But first we have to present them to you.
And before that, we are going to play a game. So I would like to invite all of you to come forward and stand in a circle. And my colleague, Helena, is going to take us through a little game.
try to be quite quick. And in Sweden we have this famous animal that is called the moose, or in Swedish älg. And in our game, this älg have big horns to the side of their head. But because it's going to be a silly älg, it do this with the horn. Yeah, of course. And if I want to pass, we're going to pass this älg around. So I'm going to hand it to someone with the pointing and saying the word älg. But there's one more rule. If I am the big älg with two horns, I want bigger horns with you guys. So the two persons next to the one with both hands, you put up, do you hear me? Or do I need this? Oh, for stream, of course. Okay, hello everybody online. I'm sorry you can't join us in this game. Okay, so you just put up one hand, exactly. So if I have two hands, like this, the ones next to me have one hand. And then I pass it forward by saying älg, and that one put up their two hands. Okay, we're gonna try this. While you do this, you say älg, 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 älg. Älg, 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 älg. Yeah, just to make it more silly. Okay, so I start. You're my. Okay, älg, 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 älg. And send it to someone by pointing. Perfect. Exactly like that. And send it and point to someone. All right. Good.
Perfect. You are too good at this game. Wonderful. Yes. All right. So we're going to elevate a little bit. So we're going to move on. We're not älg anymore, but we will be everyone's favorite snack, a popcorn machine. So the person who is the machine is going to have, would you like to demonstrate? This is the popcorn machine, obviously, as you can see. These are the things moving the popcorn around, you know. And on the both sides, we are the popcorn. So the person in the middle will do this sound and be the machine. And on the sides, we will be popcorn. So we will do the same thing, moving it around with, let's do one round first, and then I'm going to add some stuff. Wonderful. All right, you are really good at this game. What we will now add is we have the machine. Bzz, bzz, bzz. We have the popcorns. Wonderful. And popcorn tends to pop around and spread out. So on the sides, here and here, we have the popcorn catchers. So what these people will do, so 2 people away from the machine, they will try to catch the popcorn. So when you send something, so if we were to send it to Lumi, you would be the machine. The people right next to Lumi would be the popcorn, and you will be the catchers. All right.
Are we ready?
I think so. You will start being the machine. Thank you for the popcorn. Very nice. We will do one last one. The super popcorn of popcorns. So we have the machine. We have the popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. But this person now will scoop some popcorn. So they will scoop popcorn and they will say, here you go. Pass it to the next person. That person will say, take it, pass it along to the next person. Here you go. So they will go in both directions and they will meet somewhere in the middle. So someone will probably have popcorn like this and they will have to pass it along and then it should come back to Helena.
But also you need to stay focused on if the machine switch, because then it's the new round, scooping popcorn from the new machine. Okay?
Yes. I believe in you. Let's go.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. Here you go. Oh, here you go. 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 And thank you so much. This is one of our favorite games to play because it works very well with very small children and clearly works pretty well with adults as well. So you can all now take a seat and we will continue with the presentations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now that everyone is fresh again, we wanted to tell you a little bit about our project itself. And like I promised, I would present myself a little bit, and I would like to do that by saying why this project is important to me personally. And like I said, my name is Denis, and I worked with EU-funded projects for 10 years in folk building, which is liberal adult education in English. And I come from Russia, and since I was maybe 15 years old, my dream was to move from there because I felt that I don't fit in. And without even knowing it, I shared so-called what we call now European values. And according to European Commission, it is one of the priorities today to protect these European values. It's even the priority of Erasmus program that finances this project. And like me, studying public relations in Russia and working in IT company, I saw this kitchen a little bit, and I just know that they have very long tradition of forming public opinion, and they have very good programmers. That's why I think I know personally, as not many Europeans know, that EU values, they really have to be protected. And that's why that's one of the reasons why we work with this issue. And I can't compete with popcorn machine, but I also wanted to attract your attention a little bit first, just with 3 questions. If you can go, it's not Menti, it's joinmyquiz.com /pro, or you can scan the QR code. I'll give you 5 seconds. It doesn't work. Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it online. This one, please. How about now? Okay, good. Then I wait for 5 seconds now. Oh yeah, this is the people joining. Okay, that's the sound. Okay, yeah. Okay. I think we start. Okay, the first question, you guessed the answer. How many disinformation cases have been collected and debunked by the EU versus Disinfo? EU versus Disinfo, it's a platform created by European Commission in 2015, and their main focus is to debunk specifically Russian propaganda. So how many, and it's unique cases. So each okay, you have to reply fast while I'm talking. So the correct answer was 16,000 unique stories that each of them was distributed and promoted since 2015. It's a lot of disinformation coverage happening. Next question. I'm sorry, I have to answer fast. Now that I know. Oh, it shows the leaderboard. Someone did manage to answer while I was talking. Okay, next question is probably easy one. Yes, is it true or false? Facebook platform rewards publishers that put up misleading accounts and content. It's a little bit rhetorical question, and you have 5 more seconds to answer. Yes, it's true. And according to I hope it's not next question. 1 second. Yeah, it is gonna be next question. 1 second. According to the research that was made by, I will tell a bit later. We proceed to the next question and I'll be back to you with this. Next question. How many interactions does a junk news story generate on average on Facebook over a span of 1 month? Yes, time's up. And yes, most of the people were right. It is this many. And this was the research of University of Oxford after previous European Parliament elections in 2019. So yeah, and it's interesting to see the picture, like with different cultures, countries comparison. That in English, this big number was in English language, but otherwise, it's German and Swedish generated most of interactions, and it does not indicate anything about the people. Maybe it is propaganda that was focusing on these countries. That's why the result is like that. Maybe it's cultural differences that in for example, in Sweden, people trust media more than, for example, in Russia, where people don't trust it at all. So it's also there is cultural research regarding that when it comes to trust to government, trust to the media. So it may be a factor that influences this one. So, but the thing is that the situation is as it is. And final question. No, this was the final question. Thank you. I just wanted to bring your attention to the problems that, yeah, let's see who won. Cray, congratulations. Then Affe and Ellie. Applause to you. You were very fast, probably. Thank you. Then I continue the presentation. Yes, and a little bit more about what EU is doing, and like I said, it is a big disinformation is a big question of democracy, and it's interesting to observe how EU has been reacting to the issue, because they started to actively work and face it only before quite some time before 2015, and if first they focused only on elections and democratic aspect of disinformation, of course, because it was interference of Russia to Trump-Hillary elections, and also to European elections. So that's why first EU defined disinformation through the prism of elections and democracy. But already by now, they highlight that disinformation is a threat to a whole range of cultural, social, economic rights. It's a threat to the freedom of thought, freedom to participate in a democratic dialogue. It's a threat to the right of privacy, and of course, it undermines the European democracies and faith of citizens to democratic institutions. And apart from that, it really helps spread digital violence and hate speech, which is by itself is a huge issue. And EU has been doing many things, like strategic ones, like a code of conduct when it comes to disinformation for social media, which Facebook was not following, as we saw from the whistleblower Frances Hogan. And this EU versus Disinfo platform, rapid alert system, and the EU fact-checking websites. But apart from these big European actions, they also support many projects that tackle the issue of disinformation, and our project is our little project is one of hundreds of such projects that are funded by, for example, in this case, Erasmus program, but there are even other European programs that tackle the issue, like SERF, for example. That's considering this European priority, we thought at Studiefrämjandet, because we are a folk building or liberal adult education organization, we thought, what can we do to address this problem? And I want to note that in Sweden, the goal of the mission of liberal adult education or folk building is to promote democracy and support participation in civic life. So that's why this is something that is very down our alley to do. That's why it was very relevant, and we wanted to contribute to solving this problem. That's why we came up with this project idea. And our project name is Combating Social Media Disinformation Among Youth through Live Action Roleplay. And in short, we call it Display. And the project started in March 2022, and it's going to finish in the end of next month. And it's funded by Erasmus Plus program, and we were 5 partners from Sweden, 2 partners, LajvVerkstaden and Studiefrämjandet, then 1 partner from Spain, Inercia Digital, and 1 partner from Germany, Hessischer Volkshochschulverband, and 1 partner from Romania, Monomyths Association. And why did we focus on social? Of course, we have to work with every target group, not just with young people. And of course, this information is everywhere, like in all channels, not just social media. But we decided to choose like this focus, social media disinformation, because it's #1 channel for disinformation, like for those who distributing disinformation. Social media. And then why did we choose live action role play? Is that because first of all, it is one of the things that we work with in folk building, because unlike formal education, in non-formal education, which is folk building, liberal adult education, we work with something where you don't need you don't get a certificate, you're not listening to a lecture, you can run different educational methods that are hard to measure the result of. That's why we felt that we would contribute with something that we are experts in, and which is non-formal educational methods. So that's why we chose live action role play as a main tool to solve the problem from our side. And why did we focus on young people? Is that first of all, they are the primary users of social media. I have some statistics, like 87% of European youth between 16 and 24 years old use social networks, and 14% they even post opinions on civic and political issues on social media. And according to UNICEF, children and young people are particularly vulnerable to disinformation simply because they lack the maturity and life experience to be able to judge different pieces of news. And same according to UNICEF, only 2% of children and young people have the critical literacy skills that they need to judge whether news story is real or false. It's research by UNICEF from 2 years ago. So that's why we decided that it would be very actual to work with this target group. That's why the project is called As You See. So the project goal, our project goal was to contribute to pedagogically equipping youth workers with methods and tools for increasing media literacy skills of youth. To ultimately reduce the social media, the disinformation on social media. So this is the ultimate goal, but the technical goal looked like this. And because we wanted the methods that we would use in the project to be relevant to young people, we set specific goals that we would develop a live action role play that we would develop for young people to play with. But the target group would be people who work with youth, so youth workers or all kinds of educators. And then another goal would be a product for young people themselves, a mobile game. But you will hear about all of these things in following presentations. Last thing I wanted to tell is that to showcase you just the structure. So you would have like the structure of our project and what we've developed in the project is basically 3 things, or even these 2, they can be kind of combined into one. So these are people who work with young people, so youth workers or educators, and those are young people. So for the primary target group of the project was youth workers, and for them we developed a live action role play that we would they would play with the children that they educate, children and young people, and a complementary guide on how to educate young people. You'll hear about it as well in the next presentation. But the secondary target group of the project was young people themselves, and for them we developed a mobile game that they can play. But maybe youth workers would present it as a homework for young people. So technically, the ultimate, like the main target group is still youth workers of our project. So this is what we've done, and in the following presentations, you will hear more about each of these things. But first, we wanted to tell you about, give you some insights from our guide on how, on which methods we can use to educate young people. Because young people, they're quite special in this regard, and this is where I want to pass the microphone to the next presenter. This is our guest from Germany, from adult education organization in Hessen, in Frankfurt. Jakob, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Denis, for the nice introduction. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me all right? Great, perfect. So, like Denis said, my name is Jakob. I come from Germany. I am from HVV, the Hessian Adult Education Organization, which is sort of an umbrella organization for all Hessian adult education centers. There are 32 and a few other education centers that also work with us, and we provide services for them. We are their relation to the public, to politics, and this is what we do, just as a short idea of what our organization does. And before we get all into the learning methods, the educational methods that fit to young people, I would like to take you on a short journey. We had a very nice talk now, and we had lots of important information from Denis, but now I think it's time to relax a little bit, make yourselves comfortable, and everybody, this works best if you close your eyes, but you don't have to. Maybe put your head on the table and just listen for a bit. I'm gonna wait until everybody's ready, but you all look great from up here. And relax a little bit. And then recall how many years it has been since you have been to school. maybe when you were 15 or 16. Try to let your mind travel back all those years. Feel yourself slowly slip into your younger self. It has been quite a while since the last time you've been here, I suppose, so take a moment to get comfortable. Once you find everything in order, follow the flow of a regular day in school. When did you get up? What was the way you took to school every morning like? Slowly walk into your classroom. Look around. Look into the faces of your peers. Where are you sitting? Who's sitting next to you? Now remember how the day went by. How was school? How did you learn? How were you taught? What did you do all day? Were there certain tools or methods that were used to give you knowledge? Did they actually help you? Or were they sometimes hindering you? Was your learning efficient? Was your learning fun? Just think a little about these questions. Stay a bit in your mind. You might have time during the break to talk about it with other people, but just keep it for yourselves now. Once you went through a regular day of school, you can take a step back, leave who you were behind and return to this room, open your eyes and look around where you are to where you have returned. And maybe if you look at the other people on your table, sitting next to you, from up here, I see all of you. You can probably imagine that the answers to the questions that I just read out will be very different from person to person. So the way that we like to learn is super different for each and every one of us. There are so many factors that define how we prefer to learn, how we prefer to obtain knowledge. And these factors are a multitude of things like our personality, our surroundings, our financial situation maybe, also the time we live in, of course, the time we learn. But we can identify certain trends for a whole generation of people. That is because some factors, mainly the time that we live in, are the same for all of a generation. So that is why we can take away and extract some preferred ways to learn that will likely appeal to young people. So when we talk about young people, we usually in the project, we are always thinking about an age of 15 to 25, something like that, which is known or loosely known as Generation Z or Gen Z. And we can, if we want to know what ways of learning appeal to young people, we kind of have to look at the factors that they are faced with. And there are two main factors, one of which can be split up into smaller factors that young people find themselves faced with in the world. The first of which is an omnipresent internet. So young people between the age of 25 and 15 have lived their entire sentient life knowing that there is something like the internet, and they have become expert. They are the first generations that grew up with this internet from their birth or from the time they can remember. And they feel at home. It's sort of their space. It's their public space as well. The internet is the place where relationships are formed, where interaction to others happenings, where you get to know people, at least in this generation. And it is also the place where communication takes place, which then again has some effects on communication, like our text messages appearing super fast and being gone in the next moment, like being able to talk to anybody from the entire world at any time you want to, and being in the super fast-lived information environment where every message you write is under constant threat of getting lost in a stream of other messages. And the second big part is the occurrence of multiple global crises that are presumed to worsen in the future. So the most prominent one is probably climate change, but there are also others like global injustice, wars coming up that are affecting the way young people view the world. So these factors are more or less apply to every person in the certain age group of 15 to 25 years now. And these factors have effects on their personality, 3 of which we extracted as being very important. The first one is that young people like to be creative. This is something we all like, I suppose. But in comparison to other generations, in Generation Z, the creativeness or the importance of creativeness is very high, because the young people think their creative solutions to the problems that we're facing or that we have been facing for quite some years and have still not solved. For these problems, we need new ways of solving them, which is why creativity is important. Coming with the fast-lived internet space, it is very important for a young person to represent themselves, to make a stand, to put out their personality, to maybe act out different personalities in different situations. And the third thing is that young people value their own actions as highly important. So acting is important for them. They are driven to act. They want to do stuff themselves and not just be passive listeners. If you take a short moment to remember how your school was, the questions I asked before from your dream journey, you can take a minute and think about whether these things were present in your life in school, or you can think about if they are present today. And if you think the way school or different schools work catch all these preferences young people might have. Because definitely our learning needs to adapt to the way young people are. That means if the education methods we want to use for young people, they need to offer options for creative thinking. They need to give room to act out different personality aspects. So they give the chance and also the space to do that. And they need to have a high degree of learner involvement. So the learner is not just a passive agent who is there to observe and to obtain knowledge, but who is actively involved in the learning process. We have 3 fancy words as a context for this, as learning paradigms that we extracted from these, or that not we, but other people extracted. And we wanted to list them as examples of how this learning can take place in young people. So incidental learning, the first one being learning where you're not realizing that you're learning. So it is an activity that you're doing, for example, playing a game, or also being creative, finding solutions to a problem. And all the time you're doing that specific activity. It never even comes to your mind that you're actually learning something. Usually in the end, you can look back at the activity you did and realize that you have taken away something. But during learning, you don't actually know you're learning. This is great because it adheres to the creativeness that we talked about before, right? You can do a creative activity and learn something from it. The second one, the experiential learning, is learning that refers back to actual experiences you've made. So a very basic example of this is a field trip to go to the forest and explore the forest, and then when you come back, you can look at it from biology perspective, right? You can look into books and read about what you saw in the forest, but the learning starts with your experience of whatever you did. This is pretty cool because it captures the way of thinking about the own personality as well, and to capture the way of thinking about your own actions as well. Because remember, we said that young people value their actions very highly. So they also want to talk about it. They want to talk about their experience and what they did and learn from that. And the third one, which is problem-based learning, is kind of a catch-all aspect that starts with a simple problem or complicated problem, depends, and has no solution. So the educators don't have a solution in mind. The young people who learn don't have a solution in mind. There's just the problem, and the solution springs from what the young people or the learners, this can also be applied to older people, of course. The solution springs only from what the learners have in mind or can think about. So this both catches their creativity and values their actions. There are, again, if you think about school, there are not so many opportunities for these forms of learning in school nowadays. Depending on what school you are, there are more or less, but in general, we tend to focus on informal education, as Denis said before, or also third learning spaces, which are outside of home and outside of school as a third space. And we just listed some example methods that you might or might not be familiar with of learning that by the way they are kind of fit into the ways of learning that we just described. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you're going to hear about LARP in a minute and can see how what we just talked about fits this way of learning. For this very short info dump about youth learning behavior, we have something in the project as well, which is our second project result, or the guide, which is actually 2 documents that accompany the project. And there's a lot of information on there. So there's a lot of stuff that I didn't tell you about disinformation, what we heard from before. There is a lot of what we just heard about youth learning behavior and agile education or informal education in general, and about LARP as an educational method. So this guide that we have is a document. It's a long document for everybody who has never worked with LARP before, or who has worked with LARP before and just wants to refresh their memory or get into the backgrounds even more, who wants to learn about disinformation, for anybody who wants to run an educational LARP project, or for everybody who wants to run a project concerning disinformation. There's also a short version of the guide, which is 3 pages long, I think. This is for people who are more experienced, who want something to have in their hands while they're conducting a learning activity to catch the main points. But you will hear about LARP in a minute from Olivia. And you can download these along with the other project results. And I think we all want to get on to LARPing now. So I think this is also the next point on the schedule. Yeah, Olivia, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. My name is Olivia, and I work for LajvVerkstaden, which is based in Västerås. And I will get my presentation ready. Let's see. So, LajvVerkstaden is a organization that focuses on something called EduLARP and the importance of connecting through play. So what is a LARP and what is EduLARPing? LARPing stands for live actual role playing, and it is a form of collective storytelling where all the participants partake and have an active role in developing what the activity becomes. So usually we, as the game leaders, will have a general idea. We will have a theme of the LARP, and we will come with the roles or the characters, the world, and everything like that. And then it's up to all the participants to see and act and make decisions, and that decides what happens in the end. There are 4 ingredients that we need to make a LARP, according to us. And it's a world, there's characters, scenario, and rules. We need to be all all of us participating need to be in agreement over what the world we are playing in is, if it is the real world, if it's the magical world, if it's a space station where will be fighting aliens, if we are in the medieval times, or whatever world we have chosen. We need the characters, because in LARPing you are not supposed to be yourself. You are supposed to have the character as an alibi to be able to make new decisions or think differently, or be able to, as I said, have it as an alibi to be able to try new things. Maybe you, the very shy child, will be a very brave child, or maybe the very brave and loud child will take a step back and be someone who is participating in the background. What LARP and EduLARPing does is connecting the participants emotionally with the subject. So all of our LARPs that we do in schools all over Sweden are connected through the plan that is written for every subject. So with that in mind, the LARPs that we do with the students are made in such a way that their teachers are able to take the things that they have done in during the LARP and use it for grading or evaluating the students afterwards. And it's very important for us to have a way to make the students connect and feel like learning is fun, that they are not just having to sit through tests and books and reports, which is also an important part of learning, obviously, but that they get to connect to something. They get to connect to someone who, they play someone in the French Revolution, they play someone in the a Viking, or they get to play someone in a non-democratic society. Whatever it is, they get an emotional connection to what they are learning, since they are having emotions through their character. And it's a chance to try something new without the risk of failure, because you cannot win a LARP. You are not forced to do anything you don't want to do. You can participate as someone in the background, as I said, or you can be at the forefront leading the revolution. It doesn't matter. Whatever level of participation you want to is valid and educational. So the participation bar is very low, and you can participate whether you have a different language, if you are disabled in some way, or if you are just very new to the group, or if you know the group very intimately. It doesn't really matter. The bar for doing it is low, also because you don't need any prior skills to be able to be a good LARPer. The only thing you need to be able to do to be a good LARPer is follow along a little bit and say yes to what's happening. So we made a LARP, and the LARP is called Trolls for Us, and it's as Jakob has said, it is a LARP written to be able to be distributed and used by everyone who works in youth education, or grown-up education, or whatever you want. It can be used by anyone. So it was created and written for display specifically with disinformation as its topic. And it will be accessible for youth educators. And it was a very important part for us to write something, since we do this for a living. It was very important for us to develop something that would be accessible and easy to understand, even if you have never LARPed, even if you are super uncomfortable with acting, or if you are super uncomfortable with being in the center of attention, which I hope no teachers are, because they should be in the middle of the attention. But The guide is made so that you can read through it and then run the LARP in the classroom with basically no other methods or materials. The LARP is divided into 2 parts. So there's the first part, which is the troll part, and the second part, which is the Fae part. What that means is the LARP, the world of the LARP, is that we are in a parallel world to our modern society in which there are a magical world. And in this magical world, there are trolls and there are Fae. And the trolls, they are the ones who make all the disinformation and all the fake news and all the scams that the humans consume. And the Faes are the ones who try to stop the trolls, or at least try to help the humans, even though none of the trolls or the Fae really like the humans. And in this way, you get both the perspective of how easy it is to make disinformation and how easy it is to spread what can be disinformation, where you can find it, which is everywhere. And you also get the perspective of how do we find it, how do we tell if something is disinformation, and how do we spread awareness of disinformation. We also have developed this LARP with 2 methods that are very important and that we use a lot through LARPing, which is play to lift and play to lose. Play to lift is something that we use to lift someone up, which in layman term means that if I'm playing the king of the LARP, for example, and all of you are my peasants, if you don't agree that I'm the king, if you take me down minute 1 of the LARP, if you don't, for example, bow or do something like that, that we have decided that I am not the king, I can't be the king. But if you all do that, I can feel like a king, and we can play with that dynamic. And that is very important, and that is something that we try to do with all the students, all the participants that we have all the time. That we play our characters to be able to lift the group, to lift the characters up, to make everyone feel important passively. We don't have to do a lot to make everyone in a LARP feel like they have importance or agency. And playing to lose is something, like I mentioned, you can't win a LARP. It's not a competition, even though people will be divided into different groups or different constellations. It is not about winning the LARP. There is no point keeping. There is no end goal. Every time we play our LARPs, we have about 40 different LARPs at LajvVerkstaden that we play both in schools and with grown-ups at afterworks event, and we have them as summer camps and many such things. But every time we play a LARP, there's never the same ending. The endings can be a little bit similar to each other, but every time we play, for example, our math space LARP, there's never the same ending. Even if we play it at the same school with different classes for a week, there's never the same. So you can not lose, and you can always lift everyone up. Even the participants will lift each other up. And with this LARP, Trolls for Us, we also wanted to develop something where you can work with what you have. You don't need anything to run this LARP. You only need a classroom and participants. And if you have the means, you can have computers or a printer or something, but that's not required. You don't need costumes. A lot of people, when they think of LARPing, think of this, running around very dressed up, doing reenactments and being in full plate armor with elf ears in the woods. But that's not what it has to be. This is just a way of playing, a method of playing, and that doesn't need anything except your imagination. So the goal is to gain a basic understanding for how easy it is to create disinformation and get access to the tools to see through it. That is what the goal of this LARP is, to give to the ones who are participating. And the LARP guide, as Jakob mentioned, will be downloadable for free. It will be a step-by-step instruction. It is NPF suited. So it means that it will be pretty easy to read, pretty easy to go through. It's not, even if it is a lot of information, it is made out and laid out in a way that is easily accessible. And there will also be, in a few weeks, there will be a video component, which is basically, we did a setup of the LARP. We did a fake run where we filmed it to show how it can look to LARP, so that you don't get overwhelmed when you are taking on this and you think you have to do this whole big production, because it doesn't have to be like that. I could set you up with a LARP and we could run it right now in 5 minutes and it would be great. So this is kind of the design of the LARP that you will be able to download. So I wanted also to talk a little bit about something that we work with a lot, and that is the encouragement of mistakes and failure. Because in education and with in regards to disinformation and how crazy and complicated the world is around us, I think it's very important that the skill of failing forward. Because the world is complex and it's very easy to be feeling like you are on the wrong side of something, if you're on the wrong side of history, that you don't have all the information, that you don't know how to access it, and that makes you close yourself off instead of being interested and being courageous and being curious about things. We have cancel culture, which means that if you make one mistake, even if it's big or small, you are completely shut off by a community or by the media, or you get pointed out and laughed if you make a mistake, which is very discouraging, especially if you are already in a group that is more on the spectrum of people who don't have access to the learning tools and to the proper education. This is something that is very, very dangerous. So by letting failure not be a big thing that will stop you, I think it's a very, very important, and we work a lot with giving people the skill that failure should be encouraging and be something that we strive for, that you should fail several times, many times, all the time, fail all the time, forever, because that's how we learn and that's how we move forward and that's how we know that there's something else. So both not letting failure discourage and define us, and the feeling that you can actually have an effect on the world are skills that we need to take into education. And that is something that LARP is doing. It allows us to participate and learning and practicing those skills in a non-threatening environment, because we are playing. And as Jakob talked about, LARP has all of those educational, the learning methods, the incidental learning, the experiential learning, and the problem-based learning. It's all in one, and usually kids don't really think about what they're learning. We have a very, like I mentioned, the math space LARP, which is we build a spaceship inside of their gym, and we take them on a space adventure, but it's filled with math. And at the end of the day, we usually ask them, like, okay, so what did we do today? And then we have a few questions regarding the LARP. And then we ask them, have you had math today? And 99 times out of 100, they say, no, we haven't had math yet. And these are small children. They are in first or second grade. And they're like, no, we haven't had math yet. We're going to have it tomorrow or something like that. And we're like, well, we've had math with you now for 2 or 3 hours. And they're like, oh, what? And we trick them into having fun math for 2 hours. And their brains are just like firing, and their teachers can see that they have learned complicated math, that they are like above their grade, but they just take it because it's practical application. And that is something that is very, very cool, and something that EduLARPing is amazing for. So, thank you. And remember to stay playful. And now we will have a little bit of a fika break. So, there is coffee and tea. Oh, and we will go upstairs where there is coffee and tea and fika. So, we can all follow Denis.
Stream participants can have a break for 20-25 minutes. Thank you. And we go upstairs now, and then come back when you'll get to hear the feedback from the young people from Lumi's presentation, and also about another project development that we've done, a mobile game. So stay after Fika, please.
And you also, when you signed in, you got a little note that was either red or green. On your way out, there is a bit of a game. So there are a lot of little slots with this the information or questions or maybe news articles, different things. And there is a false or a true sign. The people who have the red slots, I want you to spread as much disinformation as possible. So you will take as many things as possible and make them false or true. And the people with the green slots, I want you to disassemble all the disinformation that is spread on the table. And don't cheat. There is answers on the back. But play nice, and you will have the answers at the end. So you can just move them around over the table, and we'll see which group wins. All right. See.
On the way out. Yeah. and people that that we got to mingle with. But it's good to see you all back. And as we promised, we proceed to the next project development, which is very interesting by itself. And it's a mobile app that we developed. And I pass the floor to our next presenter, our partner from Spain, from Inercia Digital, Rocío.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. My name is Rocío. I come from Spain, as Denis said. We are coming on behalf of Inercia Digital, which is our company. We are placed in the south of Spain, in Huelva. I don't know if you know Huelva, but you know Sevilla. You know Huelva. Others might not, but you know Sevilla, no? We are near, close to Sevilla. And our company basically focuses on digital skills. We work, on the one hand, we work with training courses for locals, for mainly teachers, but also people from normal people from the street, from the city, and we try to improve their digital skills with our courses. And on the other hand, we work with Erasmus Plus projects of different types, such as this one, such as Display. And in this project, our contribution is an app for smartphones. We have developed a game to download, both for Android and Apple, for iOS. And I'm basically here to tell you how it works, our game, the game we have designed. Actually, Francisco, that's my colleague, he has made the game. Okay. Go Frank. And well, first of all, I wanted you to think a bit about how a small decision can make big differences in your life. Okay? So the question, have you ever stopped to think how important a small decision in the middle of the way can be in the end? And as a warm-up activity, I wanted to put you into a normal context and give you two options, and I'm going to let you stop for a bit and think which one of the two options I give you would choose. And then I'm going to give you the final result of what happens after you take that decision. So here's the first context. You are on a holiday with your friends on a road trip, and you encounter a confusing intersection. The GPS tells you to go right, but your best friend, who thinks he's or she's clever, says he's been there and you should go to the left as you'll arrive faster. Okay. So, option one, you decide to trust your friend and turn left. And option two, you follow the GPS because you think it's more accurate. Okay? So, okay, raise your hands, those who would take option one, who would trust their friend, take the risk. Okay, and who would take option two? Trust the GPS. Okay. I would choose two, actually. Okay, let's see what happens. If you chose first option, the road was worse, in worse conditions, and you took longer to arrive. But the views were absolutely amazing, and you even stopped at a small beach, which was empty, to watch the sunset. So in the end, it wasn't that bad, right? If you chose the second option, you followed the digital guide but end up in a traffic jam. It's accurate, but it's not always the best route. So in the end, maybe if you make one decision is not what you expected, maybe it's better. And you end up making good memories. Okay, let's go to the second context. It is Friday evening, and you are on the couch, really tired of working all day. You have to make the decision to go out for dinner tonight or wait until tomorrow to see your friends. Okay, it happens many times to all of us, right? Okay. Okay, option 1. You go out tomorrow night, and today you decide to stay home and watch a movie until you fall asleep on the sofa. Option 2, you use all the energy you have left to take a shower, change your clothes, and go out today. Okay. Who would take option 2? Raise your hands. Option 1, I meant. Sorry. Option 1. Who would take option 1? Yeah, that's what I expected. Okay, who would take option 2? This is maybe depending on the country you are from. People tend to choose one or the other. Okay. If you chose the first one, you watched a great film and you go to bed early. But your friends went to a nice restaurant in the city center and encounter one of your favorite actors there and send you pictures with him that you see in the next morning. Okay. So sad. Bye, Timothy Chalamet. Okay. If you chose the second option, it's heavily raining tonight and your friends do not want to go out again with that weather. So you stay home again with your pet, which is what you actually wanted. So okay, so in the end you don't go out any of the days. So this is basically how our app game works. But in this case, in the magical world we have created, in which characters face challenges related to misinformation and bullying on social media. And the users have to make decisions that impact the storyline and lead to different endings. It's basically what we have just done, okay? In the game, you will have 3 different scenarios: the castle, the school, and the forest. And each of the scenarios, you will find different characters. Actually, 3 characters per scenario. And you will basically make decisions for them and see what happens. So in the end, in each of the scenarios, there are 16 different endings. And that makes a total of 48 endings. So you can play many times and try to figure out how you will end up this time by making different decisions than the first one you played. And okay, users will explore by playing this game themes such as develop critical thinking, empathy towards others, because you will try to be in the position of the character you're playing for. Every action has consequences, as you have just seen, and awareness of how social networks sometimes work. And basically, if you have your phones, I would like you to download the app right now because it's available. I just wanted to tell you that this is the first the first version we have made, but we will be uploading different more versions because there are some bugs that you may see, but it will get better in the following weeks when we are working again on it. Are you able to? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there are posters that we made actually. Okay, so you can try to play for a bit, and if you can give us some feedback. I'm actually done. Thank you. Please try the game and tell me what you think about it. It's useful for us.
Thank you so much, Rocío. Like Rocío said, the bugs, if you find something, they will be fixed very soon. Yes, and the same goes as our project is still good to go for 1 more month. We are finalizing our other products like live action roleplay guide and the guide for teaching young people. So we are translating them to national languages and we are designing them. So in the end of next month, these products will be available for everyone to download and use with young people you work with, or to move to forward to your colleagues who do that. We would be really grateful for that because, as I listed in the beginning, all of our developments, they cost nothing if they're not being used. So this is the goal of our conference today, to ensure, to spread the word about what we've done and to ensure that more people will use it in the future. Of course, in our organizations that we've been working on, we will continue using these products with the people that we work with, but we want to reach more people, and so the project would have bigger impact in the end. So that's why we are very grateful. Yes, but we still have one presentation to go. It's for the feedback that we got from young people that actually played our live action roleplay and the game. And I give the microphone to our next presenter. It's Luminita from Monomyths Association. Please.
Thank you so much, Denis. All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me properly from here? Okay, thank you so much. How are you doing? All good after the fika? Best time of the day, isn't it? All right. So we will move a bit forward with our last presentation, and we're going to discuss about pilot testing and youth feedback. So we've been sharing with you already the results that we managed to produce during our 2 years long project. And one of the project result was these LARP scenarios. But the question was, how do we know if what we do is relevant for the youth if we don't actually go there and ask them and test it with them? So this is what we did in all our 4 partner countries, Romania, Spain, Germany, and Sweden. And okay, so why did we do it? First of all, to collect the constructive feedback on the project results. And the second main objective was to multiply the impact of our project and just to let our communities know what we do and what actual tools they can use in their youth work as well. And for who we did that, so as we have told you already, the primary target group was around youth educators or trainers or teachers, because what we wanted to do was to equip them with the necessary tools to work with young people, and to introduce them somehow in this world of media literacy and how to choose what is fake, what is real in a very digital world. And we managed to reach 50 youth educators, and the final beneficiaries who were 160 young people from all countries involved in our project. And now it's time maybe for a little bit of confession from our Romanian side. Because, okay, so we are from Monomyths, we are based in Bucharest, and this is what we do. We do youth work, meaning that we engage with young people on a daily basis, and we test various non-formal education methods with them. But this LARPing was a total secret for us until 2 years ago when we got engaged in this amazing project. So I have to tell you that we started this a little bit, let's say, nervous, because we did not understand quite well how it works and how we can engage young people in this. And we have wonderful young kids. We have wonderful young people that we work with. And actually, some of them are watching this live stream, so I take the advantage to say hi to them. And we started this. They are used with our work, and they are used with our non-formal education tools that we are trying to present to them. But this was total new, okay? So new, actually non-formal education in Romania is not yet the go-to approach when it comes to educational context. So we started this with small steps, let's say. And I'm really happy to share with you what did the young people say about this pilot testing? And it's very interesting to notice that all these answers were actually quite common in all 4 partner countries. So the first thing that they said and that they appreciated while testing the LARP scenarios was that they were receiving the freedom of choice in terms of impersonating the character. So they would have the scene and the tools and the characters, but the way they behave in it was a freedom choice. So this is something that they really appreciated. Then they said that it was very nice to be allowed to gain and to practice a sense of initiative, but because of course they could choose what to do during the LARP, and that was something that they are not really used to, especially in educational contexts. Moving on, they said that this way of learning was quite dynamic and unpredictable, which would help them to stay engaged in the LARP for a longer period of time. Because probably you've noticed or you experienced yourselves lately, the attention span, it decreases more and more, and it's a common challenge, especially for young people nowadays. And the last one, the last thing that they mentioned was this disconnection from the personal reality and trying to immerse themselves in a fantasy world, which is something that we are not really used to in schools or in other educational experiences that we have. So what they said, and I found it really interesting, was that they were exploring this topic. So what we did not mention yet is that one of the topics that we actually approached during the LARP scenarios were quite delicate. So we were talking about history denial, discrimination, factors that affect our self-image and social image. So we were approaching some delicate, sensitive topics. So being the first interaction that they had with these kind of topics, what they said was that they were exploring it with a little bit more ease, which was nice to understand. Also, one last thing before moving on was that this fantasy world would make them feel more creative, more open-minded. So they were feeling more relaxed to actually understand and to approach some topics that they are not really talking about on a daily basis. So that was nice to hear. And now we move on to how did the young people actually feel during our pilot testing. And I will let some photos speak for themselves. Because it was quite an interesting journey, and I'm thanking our partners for letting us use these pictures from the pilot testing workshops that we had. And this is how it started. Most of our young people were quite confused in the beginning. They didn't know how to act, how to behave, what to do. Shall we go on with the objectives that we have in the LARP, or we should stay a little bit in the corner of the room? So in the beginning, it was a bit confusing, but in the end, after testing it and after seeing how it goes and after observing everyone getting really engaged and really involved in the LARPing, this was the final result. We had participants that were completely engaged and immersed in their characters. Trolls or fairies, it didn't matter at that point, but what we do know in the end was everyone had really fun. And that being said, in the name of Display Team, we thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Lumi.
Thank you, Dennis. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lumi. Now I would like to invite you all again to stand up and come forward. You don't have to stand in a circle this time. And I move over to Helena. It's game time.
You start with a game and you end with a game. Or maybe this is a little bit more of an experiment. We will see. The first task is that I need you to divide into 4 quite similar big groups.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Such a pedagogue. She didn't let you do it by yourself.
4.
Wow. So group 1 here, group 2, group 3, and group 4. So if you get number 1 from Olivia, you stay here. If you get number 2, you stay there. And 3 here. And if you get number 4, you can be there. That's perfect. It's maybe... Or I think one of you can be 1. Jakob, you will be the number 1. This is perfect. So this game, you will do in total silence. Dum, dum, dum. And each group will get information from me. And I will see how it goes. But basically, all of you have the same task afterwards. And we'll see. So I'm going to put this one down and go to each group. I can say the basic. You have probably done this before. You will then, in silent, try to form a line of all of you due to the information I give you. Okay?
Imagine a salesperson from the East. Very horrible. I just remember this. Okay, everyone. Yeah. Talk about yourself. Just mingle, you know. Do your thing. Okay.
So I will give you soon a start signal. So the only rule is no words. you can still point and do silent communication with each other, and try to complete your mission. Okay. We will have the line like in front of the stage here. Okay? So you're very welcome to start. It looks like it's hard to even form a line. But you are happy here. That's good. It's a lot of, you go there, you stay here going on. I can be like a sport commentator on this. Then it seems fine. Find your position there. Yeah, it starts to look like a line, but people are still swapping places. Okay, interesting. Oh yeah, don't you can. It's hard. It seems that you have a hard time to agree. Am I correct? Like where to put people? Oh, you go. That's please stay. Yeah, okay. There is like 2 lines now. It's just super hard. Okay, thank you. Okay, I will have a line in 5 seconds. So in 5 seconds, I will see this line and look at it. No, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I want to ask one representative from the group 1. Yeah, did you succeed with your mission? Not really. Okay. Quite. Okay. And group 2, did you succeed? Not at all. Yeah. Okay. And the group 3, do you think you succeeded? Proudly failed. Exactly. We are practicing and failing. Perfect. And group 4, no. Okay. So it's maybe hardest for the group 4 to know if they succeeded or not. As you might assume, you had a bit of confused information. Disinformation, no, but different information, yes. So group 1, what was your goal? Yeah, in height order was group 1's mission, and group 2? Longest hair order. Yeah, assumed on the hair length. So it's not successful, I can see that. And group 3, you had a hard one too. Shoe size, also very hard when we also have shoes on. And group 4, what was your? Age. Also hard to just, without talking and looking, and people still try to. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so I want you to stand in the groups again, and you will give a new task, and we will see. Dum dum dum. So the same groups. Now you have started to, yeah. Okay, so I put down this mic again. So somebody came and took me and put me in the line, and I was okay. Don't want to offend anyone. Oh yeah. I know you guys are the oldest than everyone else. It's just like a really small You're thinking like, oh, you know you. Okay, so once again you have something that you want to complete, and all of you will need to use the shares. So I let you start to arrange the shares. I prefer you to use this area here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, we're interesting. There is some sort of formation coming on here. Very cool. Okay. Oh wow. I see people getting protective of of shares in the okay. So I just want everyone to stop for a second and take like a step outside this form that I've created here. And brilliant. And just take a moment to see like, okay, did we succeed or not? Like it is now. 50%. Okay. I would also now like each group to come together again. We have this to work with, and you will try you choose one person then that will organize the shares a little bit further. But first you can talk a little bit how it looks and what you want to change so you will be successful with your mission. Okay, so organizing the group, talk a bit. Yeah, okay, wait. No, yeah, perfect. Decide one person that can. Okay. Okay, so I will now. You will. Everyone have chosen one person? Perfect. There is not a competition going to happen. I see how like people are like, whoa, I will go fight for my share. But you will actually now, one group at a time, have like 15 to 20 seconds to arrange, do some changes. But you will also try to have in mind to maybe be a bit helpful to the other groups. Still succeed with your mission,
but maybe also see what the other groups try to do and see if we can come up with a solution that fits everyone. So I want for this time group 4 to start, because I go backwards. So you will have like 20 seconds, or actually the whole group can join in. So you do some arrangement. I don't know why I thought one was best. Oh no, don't. Oh, now you're stuck. Okay. Group 4, are you happy with this? Yeah, kind of. Now you're happy. Okay, so group 3, you can all do it now. So you will also have some time to rearrange so it fits you. Yeah? Yeah, you go. Okay, it's a compromise. You stop there? You're happy? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. So I ask your group, do you want to do some arrangement? Yes, please. Okay, interesting. And what about you? Do you want to do anything? Okay, you go. You do what you want to do. Ah. Very, very good. So, is it any group that wants to do a last arrangement? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, are you feeling, are you a bit pissed? Yeah. Okay. You compromised, but if you think outside the box on the quest you have, do you think you can stay with this but still succeed with yours? Yeah, 90%. 90%? Okay, would you want to succeed 90% with it? Or do you want to do something about it then? Okay, so you are good. Okay. So then this is the solution you get from the information you had. And I want to know that you can share what your mission was. I'm going to start with this group. What was your mission?
Our mission was to form a circle out of the chairs, and I think we did a great job.
Yeah. Perfect. Your mission was to form a circle. Yeah, and what was your mission? Any geometrical shape was their mission. So quite nice to work together, you two. What was your mission?
To have the backs facing inward to the circle.
Yeah, to have the backs of the chairs facing inwards to the circle. And you are not quite happy, why?
Because they were supposed to stand up.
Did I say that?
No, but those three are not facing,
So if you swap these, there is backs of the chairs facing into, yeah? Cool. And what was your mission?
Yeah, having the chairs lay down in a circle.
Yeah. So actually, my plan was that you all could succeed. But it depends on how you interpret the information also. So we all wanted them in a circle, lay down, and depending on how you interpret what is a back into the middle of the circle, it can be like this or not. Yeah, and that's also a way of gaming around the information and to give out different information. And the first one was that you couldn't succeed. this one was designed so you could. But didn't have to, but could. Yeah, I think that was the game. So now we need to put it back.
Now everyone's task is to put the chairs next to the tables with the sitting portion facing inwards. I believe in you all. Thank you so much for indulging in our game. This is a fun little game that we play sometimes to show students or groups of adults that depending on what information you have, you can think that someone is doing the wrong thing, even though you're kind of working towards the same goal, but depends on where you're coming from and what information you have. And it can be really frustrating when someone puts a chair down on the floor when you want them to stand up, and so on and so forth.
And this also was the example of how engaging and active people get when they play LARP. And it was so when we tried our display LARP, although we had like tasks that were related to disinformation, people were still talking a lot, moving from between different tables, and had costumes, so it was very, very active. Yeah. So, but today you got a little grip of how it is as a young person to be playing like this game instead of just sitting and listening for a lecture. So I thank LajvVerkstaden a lot for all of active showing us how active it can get.
Of course.
And all of the partners for their contribution to the project, which is immeasurable for every partner. And even the mobile game, all of the partners were developing, contributing with the scenarios, like how the game would evolve. So, and I also would like to thank everyone who came today and listened to what we've done. And maybe we would, as like I said earlier, we would be very grateful if you could spread the word about it and use yourself. And just remember, in case it would pop up in a conversation, you would find some place. So we are really grateful for today, for everything. Thank you so much. And to our live stream participants as well.
Yes, thank you so much. I think we're going to have a little bit of time for questions, and then I'm going to put up the results for the little fake reel thing and see what happened there. And you will also be able to find out what the answers were to some of them. But I think we can take some questions. Did you have a question, Helen? Yes, where will you find the information to download?
Two places. First, the project website, projectdisplay.eu, and the second, but for right now, at the moment, we have not uploaded it yet. Like I said, we are translating them and designing because it's still 1 month to go. But so this is what when it concerns the LARP and the guide. But when it comes to the game, you can already get it at the Apple Store or Google Play. Yeah, so this is the first channel, and the second channel, we are gonna send an email to all of you today who participated and registered for the conference when we are done with everything with the files, with the links to the files. So that's why we'll make sure that you get them. Yes. Any more questions? Done.
Okay, wonderful. I will prepare the end of the game. Change it.
Are you coming to Sommarkopta to present this?
More information, please.
Salmakokta is a Finnish knutpunkt. Knutpunkt is a large conference or convention that travels between the Nordic countries. Now it's in Finland, and because they are Finns, they have named it Salmakokta, which is impossible to pronounce and to spell. Are you coming? There is today.
We may be now. Yes, thank you for the tipping. Underall. Okay.
I think you really, really should. Yes. I can send it from
We are not releasing you yet. Okay, we are ready, Olivia? Or? Ta-dam!
So you will have to come around to see how you did.
Yes, if you want to see the answers to the questions to the game of true or false, please proceed to where the game was. We take a look.
So I would say you did pretty well in determining what was true or what was false. Some of them are placed very funny, things that are obviously true or false in the wrong position. So good job, red team. You also have I've written up if you want to check for yourselves, you can turn them, see what number they have, and you can check them on the list if there's something that you want to know more about, or if there is something that you think is crazy that it's true or false. Yeah, thank you so much.
I think on this note, we say thank you to all of you today. Please be in touch whenever you have something regarding the topic of disinformation or educating young people coming up, because we as Studiefrämjandet, not just me, but all of us, were very open to cooperation and to different new and interesting projects and things. So thank you so much, and please tell about our things that you've seen today. Thank you.
Thank you, Denis.
I'm sending it on Teams.